The Season 9 trailer has officially been released, but is it good? Well, the past few weeks we've been getting some teasers from things like the Sea of Thieves Twitter, and a lot of people had different theories about what some of these tweets mean, but now all questions have been answered. Starting with the biggest, which is the Fort of Fortune update. We have been given a new chest inside of the vault at any Fort of Fortune. This chest looks so cool and will sell for 20k gold, quite like the chest of ancient tributes. And selling this chest will unlock new commendations and work towards earning cosmetics from a new set called Fates of Fortune. It looks like for delivering the chest we'll get to unlock these sales, and these sales honestly look so good. Next is an update to the Reaper Bones and Reaper Bounty chests. These chests now have the beacon on at all times. In the past, the beacon would disappear after being picked up, but now there's no more jumping off your ship to go and sell these, as we'll see the beacon the entire time. Another addition, well, can we call it an addition? More of a rebalance, is the re-edition of Flameheart, but without Flameheart? So essentially it's a Flameheart world event, but without the annoying skull in the sky. I know, disappointing. But also with a lot of retuning. I'm not sure if the difficulty will vary depending on your ship or crew size, but I'm sure they'll have done something to make it easier, as the next thing on the list is major rebalancing for all world events. A lot of this rebalancing for world events is for difficulty depending on the crew size, but I'm sure there's more that's been done to try and get people doing more world events. Now this next one is something that I think is extremely overdue, and it will stop people from running into the Red Sea. Well, at least it'll make it pointless running into the Red Sea. So now if you're fighting an enemy ship and say they headed straight for the Red Sea and they decided to sink as far away from you as they possibly could, well, now the loot will only resurface on the edge of the Red Sea, so no more sailing into it to get some loot. As well as it resurfacing on normal waters, there's also now birds near all sunken ship loot. This will make it so much easier to find loot from your opponents, and I'm so glad that this is something that's finally been added. This next edition is also huge, and it's pretty cool, and it's a Skull of Destiny. This is something that was teased to us over on Twitter, and its purpose is to be an easier way of starting the Fort of the Damned. Acting as a ritual skull, but without having to get all of the different lanterns. Usually getting all the lanterns could take hours of some crews, and then if you wanted to do the fort multiple times, you'd have to go through the effort of saving all the lanterns and then bringing them back up before you're able to restart. But this makes it so much easier. These are in the form of Voyages that you purchase at the dock, and instead of gold, these Voyages cost a small amount of doubloons. Well, if you call that number small anyway. Another thing is that purchasing the old ritual skulls was only a one-time thing, and you would have to wait sometimes months before being able to repurchase them. But with the Skull of Destiny, you're not just outright purchasing the skull, you're actually purchasing a quest that gives you a compass and sends you to the location of the skull. Fortunately, you can purchase these in bundles of 5s, so you can stack an insane amount of these if you really wanted to. But I mean, it depends. Do you really want to do 5 Fort of the Dams? As well as these new quests for the Skull of Destiny, we now have the new Pirate Legend Voyages, where it looks like you can go on quests and dig up some super valuable loot, or do a more explosive kind of quest and go digging for kegs. Now I do think that being able to do Voyages for Athena kegs is an amazing addition. In the past, to get an Athena keg, most of the time you'd have to complete a set of Athena Emissary level 5 quests just for one keg. This made getting the Ghost Wheel insanely hard to obtain, as you needed 50 of these kegs for it. So all around, I think these will be pretty cool and interesting. The next rebalance that has been made is to Mermaids, which is also pretty cool. So where in the past the difficulty would go up depending on color and value, and sometimes you need multiple people to destroy one of these for one Mermaid Gem. Well, now these are a lot easier to destroy, and instead of just one Mermaid Gem, it's randomized and has a chance to drop you up to 3 Mermaid Gems. This definitely makes getting these a lot more worth it, as I don't think at any point in the past 2 years I've ever stopped for a Mermaid Gem on the beach, as they just weren't worth it. The next thing is a few different updates relating to the Hunter's Call, with the main thing being updated being the ability to find and purchase bait crates from either the Hunter's Call NPC or the Merchant NPC on the dock. These will cost you 5,000 gold, and as well as this, you can now sell all of your Hunter's Call loot to the Sovereign at the outposts. Also, for any of you fishermen out there, I'm sure you're happy to hear that you now have the ability to use a shortcut to change your bait on your fishing rod. Another thing that has been changed is how we use harpoons. No more do we need a friend to pick up piles of loot from the ocean. Now all we have to do is aim at the floating loot, harpoon it, and it will be automatically placed onto our ship. This is something that definitely has its positives and definitely has its negatives. Sure, it's good because it reduces the time it takes that you have to harpoon loot, especially when you're playing on a laggy server and harpooning stuff is almost impossible at times, but it also takes away a part of the team aspect of this game. There's no more relying on your friend to grab the loot for you, and another downside to this is, imagine you have a boat full of loot, right? You're then sunken by another player. Now instead of that player having to sit there for 10 to 15 minutes to grab all your loot, they can now grab it all and be out of there easily in 5 minutes. This means that a lot of the time we won't have the opportunity to go back and try and get our loot back. By then they'll either be running away or parked up at a dock and selling. So yeah, it's definitely both positive and a negative change, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think, as that's just my opinion. As well as all of this, we'll now experience a lot more things happening on the seas. The chances of fighting Megs and Krakens have now been increased, as well as the chance of running into fog. Don't know if I'm into the fog part, as it's not too fun fighting another ship in fog. There'll also be a lot more shipwrecks randomly placed everywhere. Nothing against that though. Another thing is you'll also now be able to change the top of your flag at the dock instead of having to climb all the way up your crow's nest just to show off your flag. And along with all of these updates and changes, Voyages, we also get a whole new 100 levels of rewards to unlock with some awesome cosmetics that I'm excited to unlock and get a chance to see in game. But what do you guys think about Season 9? Is it what you wanted? Please do let me know what you think, and if you want to see 10 updates that I think we should get in Sea of Thieves, then watch this video.